Yo, welcome. Oh, I didn't have the song played this time. It's fine. Welcome into the DFS Huddle. Kyle provides Eric Toft. You see our Twitter handlers there. We are the DFS Huddle. We're going to go over the FanDuel DraftKings single game showdown for Thursday Night Football. We got the Packers and we've got the Commanders from Lambeau Field. So there was some good and some bad overall. Week one, we finished week one. Look, Sunday night, Keon Coleman was money. We had Hollywood Brown, some really good value on Sundays. Again, all the stuff that we put in for DFS, our lineups, click the link, video description below. The Patreon's $15. We got WNBA. It's got a shot right now. We'll see that we're recording this Tuesday night. And WNBA, you get a lot of stuff in there. So click that link in the video description below. So overall, Eric, takes from week one. We saw, of course, the second highest game on the slate was the one we all thought, the Jets and the Steelers. Looks like good luck stopping the Ravens and the Bills. What a game. But any overall takes from week one before we just start diving into the players?
Jets, just give it to Fields, Hall, and Wilson. It's pretty cut and dry with what they're doing.
Great call by you, by the way, liking Justin Fields in that game. I even gave you credit. Like, are you sure about the total? And so shout out to you. Nice call on Justin Fields this week in DFS.
Oh, thank you, my friend. And then the other one, I think Travis Etienne's got some value. Tank Bigsby was traded. He's going to be – he had over 100 yards. And every Sunday I'll put my little player profiles that players and I'm picking in my lineup. And I hit on Sampson, hit on Etienne, hit on Robinson, of course, Dijon Robinson. But, it was a good week overall. Had a couple bad bounces in the bets, but, I'll bounce back, man.
Yeah, we gave Egbuka, Ricky Pearsall, Cedric Tillman, Jacoby Myers. We had a lot of good value here. So click that link, join the Patreon, $15. Also, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. We're going to do a $50 giveaway sometime this week. If we get some comments here, we'll get some comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's jump right into it because the strategy we go. And I think this is going to, like for tournaments, I'm looking for a contrarian captain, a super cheap one, so I can pay up for the rest. We had the nuts Sunday night. Keon Coleman in the captain spot. We had Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. My only mistake line, I should have had Zay Flowers over Khalil Shakir. I should have flipped those. And we're talking we win a lot of money into Patreon on Sunday night. So quarterbacks here, this is one of the things. We got Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love. And look, Jaden Daniels is one of the quarterbacks that you can consider at captain because of the rushing upside. He carried it 11 times week one. Still had a 20, even though it was sort of a lower scoring game. And they didn't really need – the Giants never put the Commanders in any sort of danger where they had to actually put their foot on the throttle offensively. Austin Eckler did leave the game. He's got a shoulder thing coming out of that game. So they may be throwing even more. And in the goal line, could be the Jaden Daniels show. We'll talk running backs when we get there. But like Jaden Daniels – Jordan Love, look, they put up a bunch of points, right? They beat the Lions. He still only got a 16. He's not really a great fantasy option in my view. I'll have more Jaden Daniels, as I assume most people will. What do you think here on the quarterbacks? How much Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels do you want?
The thing that stood out to me about first thing about Jaden Daniels, I thought the Giants were able to get pressure. And because they're able to get pressure, he was able to get into unscheduled rushing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? He was a little bit scrambling. And when we remember, Packers were able to get to Jared Goff. Now, look, I know the Lions lost Zettler, their guard, and Frag, the tank. But if Parsons and crew is able to get home, that's going to open up the more rushing upside. And the Giants had the ball 11 plays, 10 inside the 10 of the Commanders, scored 0 points. 4 plays inside of the 3 and scored 0 points.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think with a better team of the Packers, they are going to be able to put up points. And I don't think Jordan Love he only had 22 attempts. The Packers were able to get up so early. I think they just kind of leaned on the run game, and just didn't really have to throw the ball that much and just kind of were in cruise control. Yeah. I think Love is going to be the contrarian play if we're going to put someone in the captain. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be very high owned.
I think you're right. And the more I think about it too, I'll probably have both quarterbacks in quite a few lineups just because, outside of Jacobs and I guess but there's not a lot of super high upside guys in this game, right? Like the Packers spread it out. The Commanders, I mean, I said McLaurin, but the super high upside guys, there's just not a lot of them here. The higher upside guys are the quarterbacks. So,
and with the Packers, like instead of like throwing, like I feel you got to throw it at the dartboard because you don't know, is it going to be a Dobbs game? Is it going to be a Wicks, Reed, Tucker Kraft,
Matthew
Golden, hell, even Luke Musgrave? But you get all their production if you just take Jordan Love. I mean, granted, you don't get it, but you get all their production. I think Love, contrarian-wise, when you look at the quarterbacks, is the way to go. And you're right. I think both of the quarterbacks need to be in the lineup.
Yep, I completely agree. Let's go to running backs here. So this is where it gets a little – we'll see what happens with Eckler. He was limited yesterday and today. Of course, it's a short week. It's a shoulder issue, which is interesting. So you got Jacory Krosky-Merritt, our boy Bill. We talked about it. He had 10 carries week 1. Yeah. Austin Eckler had 6. He got in the end zone, so he got a 14. Then you got Jacobs way at the top, 19 carries. Like I'm going to have Josh Jacobs in probably every lineup. Just the vault. He's going to be a part of the game. Now, their backup running backs, Emmanuel Wilson, carried the ball only once last week. So when they don't have Jacobs on the field, they're just going fullback or they're just going empty sets with all their wide receivers. So I don't think we go to him as a crazy cheap guy. So I love Josh Jacobs. Krosky-Merritt, of course, will have some exposure to, especially we got to wait for the injury report here. If Eckler misses the game, there could be some value on Chris Rodriguez Jr. at 1,400 on DraftKings. Now, again, we got to wait for the injury reports. If you want to see the final lineups we end up going with, click the link video description below, try the Patreon. But it's all really, he was a healthy scratch week 1. They just went with Eckler and Krosky-Merritt as their 2 backs. They didn't even play it. He didn't see the field. What do you think here running backs wise?
I have a conspiracy theory. I feel that coaches, when they have the Thursday game, the back they're going to feature in the Thursday game the Sunday before they give a light load to.
But they didn't even, it's light load. They just scratched him completely. They didn't even play him.
I know, but are they just like, hey,
he didn't even
I know, but are they like, hey, we're playing the Giants? I mean, like,
maybe.
Realistically, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just my conspiracy theory. Chris Rodriguez is a great call, especially even if Eckler goes, shoulder injuries with running backs I always look to avoid because that's where they're gonna pin the ball against it, getting knocked on it. The thing I'm worried about is the Packers are 5th DVOA after week 1 against the run. They allowed the Lions only 46 yards rushing. This is their lowest total in 3 years. And is that due to no Ben Johnson? Is that due to the offensive line? Or is that good to how good this Packers front is? We really don't know. But because of that, I'm a little bit hesitant to jump into a Washington running back, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like if Eckler was there, Eckler makes all the sense to me because you have the pass catching.
On DraftKings, especially on DraftKings where it's a full point per reception. But again, keep an eye. You can follow me on Twitter, Erik on Twitter, at DFS Bachelor, at ETAF21. Once I have like the actives, inactives, I'll have it up on my Twitter. Schefter will have them up. You can follow all those guys too and fucking ignore me. It doesn't fucking matter. But I want to see the Eckler news and the active, inactive. They bring Chris Rodriguez up, which they might because of the short week. Something to keep an eye on. And like if you're going like, oh, Josh Jacobs short week gets hurt right away, then it is Emmanuel Wilson. If you want to get real crazy, that is the number 2.
And they didn't really run Jacobs into the ground. He only had 19 carries.
19 carries, 1 target. Yeah, a lot of they just go empty when they don't have. They'll just go empty. That's what I saw. Anyways, all right, let's go to wide receivers. There were a few wide receivers that sort of popped up on the injury report. Dontavian Wicks. Noah Brown has been on the injury report since the beginning of the year. He's completely fine, but this is where it gets dicey, right? So Debo was the guy week 1 for Washington. I'll have exposure to him. When you look at Green Bay, they play a ton of zone. They play more zone than most. 71% of the time last year they played in the zone. They do have a good secondary. Nate Hobbs in the slot, who was a limited practice participant today, is very, very good. So I don't think Debo will necessarily be there. Will I have him? Is he viable for a captain spot? Absolutely. I think he's going to be more owned than he should be because of the big week 1. But you look week 1 snap-wise. So for the receivers, Washington, McLaurin, and Debo played 79 and 77% of the snaps. And then Noah Brown played 47% of the snaps. I think my contrarian guy is going to be Noah Brown, 3,200 DraftKings. I think that's my contrarian. Even if I don't put him at captain, I'm going to have him in my lineup, but I'm definitely going to have a captain spot for Noah Brown because he's their deep threat. And he was targeted 3 times week 1. They're going to try to get him the ball, and they're going to be focused so much on McLaurin and Debo. All it takes is one deep touchdown, especially in a game like this where there's so many spread out weapons with Dontavian Wicks played 46% of the snaps. Romeo Doubs, 71. Matthew Golden, 48. Jaden Reed, the highest scorer of the bunch, played only 38% of the snaps. Savion Williams, who was a little bit, played 33% of the snaps. So, and he was targeted one time. Savion Williams and Noah Brown are the contrarian plays. I'm going to have a lot of Noah Brown. I love McLaurin and Debo. And then I don't know what to do. It'll probably just be the safe plays, Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden. You know they want to feature the rookie. It gets real dicey here. What do you think at wide receiver?
I mean, wide receiver, I absolutely love your thought on Noah Brown. I think part of me wonders, are we going to see Debo more in the background? Like hypothetically, let's say Eckler's out and they don't bump up Chris Rodriguez. To me, that's kind of a tell we're going to see a little bit more Debo in that backfield. And if he's going to, that's something that's pretty interesting to me. I love attacking this Washington defense, especially the back four, because I don't think it's that good.
Yeah.
Even I think the offensive line of the Giants made it look better than it actually was. Neighbors still had 12 targets, 5 receptions for 71 yards, and Wilson was having no time.
Correct.
Reed led them, I believe, in targets and receptions. I would definitely, as a main guy, look to go to Jaden Reed. And as crazy as it sounds, if Wicks is active, I kind of like Dontavian Wicks. I mean, I know he got a little banged up. If Wicks goes, I kind of would like Dontavian Wicks as a contrarian play.
Yeah, Jaden Reed in the slot, he landed up there 70% of the time. That's the strength, or the weakness, rather. If you look at the Washington secondary, Mike Sainristil, Marshawn Lattimore on one side, but in the slot there, Jonathan Jones. He was the guy targeted the most, 20% of his defensive routes last year, gave up 0.41 fantasy points per route ran against. He's the guy that they're probably going to look to target. So exposure to all of them. Look, I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to have some Jaden Reed. Probably less Jaden Reed, more Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs. Jaden Reed, he should be fine. He came out banged up, but he plays a few snaps. At least he did, of all of them. Now, he is a big play guy, but give me some Doubs at 4K. Like Romeo Doubs is a contrarian captain as well with Noah Brown. I think makes sense. We've seen Romeo Doubs 2 touch. I think Doubs and Noah Brown are some contrarian plays. Even if you don't have him at captain, I think getting him in your lineup for salary savings makes a ton of sense. Let's get to some tight end action here. It's Tucker Kraft and Zach Ertz. If you look at week 1, the one, bright spot for Detroit week 1 was Sam Laporta. 9 targets, was the main receiving threat in that game. Zach Ertz had 5 targets week 1, scored a touchdown. He's had double-digit fantasy points in each of his last 3 regular season or playoff games. 12 in week 1. Tucker Kraft scored a touchdown on 4 targets. Both teams were a little bit leaky against tight ends. I like both tight ends. I'm going to have a bunch of both of them at 5'8" and 5'4". What do you think here?
I agree. You hit the nail on the head. Laporta was basically the offensive tack for my Detroit Lions, who looked absolutely putrid. And I like Zach Ertz. There seems to be a real connection with him. And if they're able to get Parsons home, do you think they're kind of going to, how am I going to say this? Safety valve it? You know what I mean? Like if there's no Eckler, is that going to be the safety valve then?
Right. And Eckler probably will. I think even if Eckler plays, he sort of is. So, I mean, even week 1, 5 targets.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. DVOA, Washington graded out 26 defending the tight end, and Green Bay 22nd.
Yep. Both teams
were
right there.
Do you think there's a world where we could do Kraft and Ertz in this bad boy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For some, especially if you're paying up, if you're paying way up at captain with maybe say a McLaurin or a Jacobs or a Jaden Daniels. Both these guys, we talked about how the snaps were spread out mainly for Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Tucker Kraft on the field for 92% of the offensive snaps in week 1. That's what I'm talking about. On the field, you got to be on the field to produce points. Zach Ertz played 64% of the snaps. Now, a couple other tight ends. Luke Musgrave's 2,400. He played 35% of the snaps. He had one target. And if you want to get real crazy, 600 on DraftKings. If you want like who's the white guy or the weird backup tight end guy from like Wisconsin who no one's heard of, who could score a touchdown or get targeted, the little naked bootleg to the backup tight end shit that we see all the time.
That we love.
John Bates, 600 draft, played 53% of the snaps. I don't know how much I'll have, but if you're looking to get crazy, John Bates, I think you could throw in there for some real salary relief.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Let's go to kickers, McManus and Matt Gay. Yikes. Neither kicker hit 10 in week 1. McManus has the bigger leg, so if you're looking for a guy with like that 50-yard field goal upside, sort of like Reichert last night, how we talked about we won't play Santos, but we will play Will Reichert because of the 50-yard upside and that big leg. That's certainly more Brandon McManus than Matt Gay, and I think you'll see Dan Quinn in Washington with Jaden Daniels more inclined to go for it on 4th downs and shorts from field goal range or longer field goal range. So I prefer McManus at 5K. Look, I wish kickers didn't exist in these fucking tournaments, but they do. And they're always, they're just sometimes it's 2 kickers that win a lineup, and it fucking sucks. But I will have some exposure, unfortunately, to McManus just because you fucking have to. If they drive the ball up and down, just like the Giants last week, but can't get in the end zone, McManus kicks 4 field goals. You have to have him, or if you don't have him, you're not making any money. So I'll have some McManus, probably less Matt Gay. What do you think here?
I like McManus. McManus has been money since he's been signed with the Packers. And we look at it, Kingsbury and Quinn, they go for it. I mean, they're going to be tending when they're in the red zone. That's going to be the team that goes for it. LaFleur tends to lean on the kicking the field goal. He is one of the coaches that when they're down, when they're down 14, he'll always go for 2 though. He's one of those guys. But in the red zone, he's a very big proponent of just taking the 3 points and then moving on to the next one. So I would definitely lean to McManus. I don't know if Gay would get the opportunity just because of Quinn's and Kingsbury's inclined to always go for it.
I totally agree. And then quickly here, defenses wise, I'll pass. I mean, the better defense of the 2 is Green Bay. The more opportunistic. So, but the more likely to turn it over, I would say, is probably Jordan Love over Jaden Daniels. I'm not going to have much defenses. We did see it Monday night. The Bears got that defensive touchdown that put them in the mix, and that's always a concern. Kick return for a touchdown too. That's something that to keep an eye on here. If I was inclined to take one, it would be the Packers, but I won't have much. What do you think here on the defenses?
I would definitely agree. I would tend to go for the Packers. I think this Washington offensive line is going to get eaten, but then again, it comes down to, are you going to be able to get a pick, or is someone in the return game going to be able to score? And I don't think either one of these guys are going to be able to get a return touchdown.
Right. To completely agree with that. Let's do a little lineup construction here. Let's do one where we get jiggy and play Noah Brown at the captain spot just for fun. Then we could play Jordan Love and Jaden Daniels. Then we could play Josh Jacobs. We can play Terry McLaurin. So this lineup, we could play Noah Brown at captain. And we have Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Romeo Doubs, Josh Jacobs, and Terry McLaurin. You can play all the top guys.
That's a great lineup.
So, or if you want to pay down from Terry McLaurin to Debo or,
or like Zach Ertz.
Or Zach Ertz or Tucker Kraft, and you can go up from Dobbs all the way up to Corey Krosky-Merritt and Eckler. So a lot of ways you could do it. Again, we'll have all the lineups that way.
I like that one. If you put in Golden right there.
Matthew Golden right here. And that leaves 1,400 on the table, which leaving salary on the table is how you differentiate yourself. So lots of ways you can do it. Again, that's just one example. Click the link, check out the Patreon. We'll have all our lineup stuff up there. Please please subscribe, follow us on Twitter, wherever you're watching. We really appreciate you guys. From myself and Eric, it's week 2, baby. Good luck Thursday night. We'll see you for our Saturday main slate show will be on Friday. Of course, our Monday Night Football show will come out Sunday night, all that good stuff here at the DFS Huddle. Have a great night. And of course, good luck on all your future wagers.